Ever get that itch? You know that one where you just feel like you've got a killer business idea bubbling up?
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
Like it's going to be the next big thing.
Totally.
Whether it's some super innovative tech startup or the coolest new cafe on the block or even just a totally revolutionary sock design.
Okay, I need to hear more about this sock idea.
Well, that's for another deep dive. But seriously, before you even think about ordering those business cards, you got to make one big decision.
Let me guess. Figuring out the perfect business structure.
You got it. And that's exactly what we're diving deep into today in Australia. We're talking sole trader, partnerships, private companies.
Well, we can't forget about those giants.
Publicly listed companies, the big leagues. We're going to break it all down with some real world examples so you can actually use this stuff.
And honestly, it's fascinating how each of these structures has its own set of pluses and minuses.
It's like picking your character class in a video game.
You got it.
Yeah.
Each one's got different tools and strengths to help you level up in the business world.
And understanding them can make all the difference.
Whether you're actually starting a business or just trying to decode how things work out there.
Exactly.
So let's kick things off with the most straightforward setup. The sole trader.
All right. The one-man show.
Or one-woman show.
Of course. Picture this. A florist in Melbourne creating these stunning bouquets.
I love that.
Right. They're running the whole operation solo.
They call all the shots, reap all the rewards, but they also shoulder all the risks. It's the ultimate test of independence.
It's like the definition of entrepreneurship. Just you and your passion.
It's perfect for people who thrive on autonomy. You know, they like to be their own boss.
But it also takes a certain kind of personality to handle that level of risk.
Because you're personally liable for all the debts.
Oh, yeah, that unlimited liability thing. Meaning, if things go south, your personal assets could be on the line.
Exactly. It's not for the faint of heart.
Is it really that common, though, for sole traders to face those kind of consequences?
Well, it's definitely a risk to keep in mind. I mean, not every sole trader ends up facing financial ruin or anything, but it does happen, especially in markets that are kind of all over the place.
Right.
Unpredictable. So that's why you've got to be really smart about planning.
Makes sense.
And managing your finances. It's crucial. And there's also the tax side of things.
Oh, yeah, taxes. Can't forget those.
Right. A sole trader's income and their business income are kind of seen as one and the same, which could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay, so it really depends on your individual situation.
Exactly.
So going solo has its perks, for sure.
For sure.
But maybe sharing the burden. And the risk is a better way to go for some people.
Absolutely.
Which brings us to partnerships.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It's like having a business buddy. You know your partner in crime.
Yeah.
Think of a big law firm like Allen's, for example.
Okay, yeah.
They've got this whole team of expert lawyers pooling their knowledge, sharing resources.
All working towards that same goal.
Exactly. Partnerships usually involve like 2 to 20 people.
Something like that.
And they're super common in fields where collaboration is key.
Law, medicine, accounting. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Sharing those profits sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, it does.
But I'm guessing that shared liability means you got to be really careful about choosing your partners.
Oh, 100%.
You need to see eye to eye.
Absolutely. You need to hash out those potential disagreements before you even start.
It's almost like you need a prenup.
A business prenup. That's a great way to put it.
Seriously, those partnership agreements are super important.
They spell out everything. Everyone's responsibilities, how much each person contributes, how profits and losses are going to be divided. It's all right there in black and white.
So it prevents those nasty disputes down the road.
Exactly.
And make sure everyone's on the same page from day one.
Totally.
All right, let's move on to a structure that offers a little more protection and room to grow.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Private limited companies.
Yes. The PNI Ltd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've probably seen that abbreviation everywhere.
These are incorporated entities.
Which is a fancy way of saying they're like their own separate legal beings.
Separate from the owners.
Exactly.
Like your business has its own secret identity.
I love that analogy.
And that separation is what gives you limited liability.
Which is a huge deal for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Because it means shareholders are only responsible for the amount they invested in the company.
Right. So their personal assets are protected if the business runs into debt.
It's safety net.
It lets people be more ambitious and take bigger risks.
It's like a superpower for your business. Speaking of superpowers, have you heard of Atlassian?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's a classic Australian success story.
They started as a private company, hustling with that limited liability protection, and boom.
Global tech giant.
proof that this structure can really pave the way for growth and investment.
Investors feel more confident backing a company with limited liability.
Because their risk is more clearly defined.
Precisely. And like Atlassian showed, private companies can always go public down the line when the timing's right.
Okay, so going public, that's where things get really interesting. We're talking public listed companies, the heavy hitters.
Trading shares on the stock exchange.
The Australian Securities Exchange, or the ASX for short.
Yep. Anyone can buy a piece of these companies.
It's like owning a tiny little slice of a massive pie.
That's a great way to think about it.
Think about a household name like Woolworths Group.
Everyone knows Woolies.
Public companies like they have this insane reach.
Employing thousands of people, generating billions in revenue.
Being listed on the ASX means they can raise huge amounts of capital from the public.
Which fuels even more growth and expansion.
So wait, are you telling me I could just buy a piece of Woolworths?
Yeah. Theoretically, you could.
Maybe I'll add a few shares to my shopping cart next time I'm there.
But it's important to remember that public companies, they face way more scrutiny and regulations than the other structures we talked about.
Right, because they're accountable to a whole bunch of shareholders.
Exactly.
So they have to regularly report their financial performance.
And play by the rules of corporate governance.
It's a whole different ballgame.
It's a complex structure with some serious responsibilities.
So we've gone from the solo florist all the way to the supermarket giant.
The full spectrum.
What does all of this mean for someone listening who's dreaming of starting their own business?
That's the big question, isn't it?
If they were starting today, which path should they choose?
Well, there's no magic answer that fits everyone.
Of course.
It all boils down to your individual situation, your vision for the business, how much risk you're comfortable with.
Yep, it's personal.
Are you a lone wolf? More of a team player, or do you see yourself as a future business tycoon?
I like that.
Each structure offers a different journey. The key is understanding those options and picking the one that aligns best with your goals.
It's like choosing your own adventure, but in the business world.
I love that.
And we've just scratched the surface here. There are tons of resources out there if you want to really dig deep into each structure.
Absolutely.
Your dream business is out there waiting to be built.
It is.
Now it's up to you to explore the possibilities and make it happen.
So true. And remember, starting a business is a journey.
Not a destination.
Exactly. There will be bumps in the road and uncertainty, but with the right planning, research, and support, you can overcome anything.
So as you're dreaming up your next big idea, I want you to consider this.
Okay, I'm listening.
If you could design the perfect business structure, what would it look like?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What elements from each of these models would you combine to create something totally unique?
Something tailored to your vision.
The possibilities are endless, and the power is in your hands.
It really is.
That's it for our deep dive today.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Until next time,
See you then.
happy structuring.
Good luck, everyone.